Hi, welcome to Pride Pages podcast. I'm here with Ryan Allen, mortgage lender from Palm Springs.
Hi, good afternoon.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. Go ahead and take a moment, and we're just going to jump right into the questions with Ryan Allen. What brought you to Palm Springs?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I've been in Palm Springs since 2018. So really, honestly, what brought me down here was the quality of life. As you get older, you appreciate pardon me, the small things in life that I had never had or never desired. So that's really why we moved down here. Um, Prior to that, I was in San Francisco. Everyone loves San Francisco, but I knew that I needed a change for the better quality of my life.
Awesome. Well, I love that you're where you choose to be. That's perfect.
Yes.
So now we're getting to the nitty gritty. What is your coming out story or something about when you first came out?
Well, my coming out story is very interesting. So I will say I grew up in a little small town in central Arkansas. And when I say small, I say less than 3,000 people. And growing up in Arkansas, I would say there's not a lot of resources to kind of, especially me back then, to support me coming out. So it was definitely a challenge growing up through junior high, high school, knowing I was a gay man, but I could not be who I was. And so I think that is a challenge. I mean, this goes back in the day where my cell phone was in my car and I picked it up, like it didn't travel anywhere. So um, after I graduated high school, I moved to Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, went to the University of Arkansas. I think that's the most liberal part of the state. And that's where I actually met my core friends, people that were like me, people that were, part of the LGBTQ community. And I felt comfortable actually talking about my feelings and my experiences. And I think that a lot of times as a younger individual, we suppress it because, especially me, I didn't know what I was feeling. I knew I had different feelings than people that I went to school with, but I didn't really know or gain that trust and that acceptance until I moved away to college. So.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what are some things you are passionate about improving within the community that showcase pride?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest things is always being there for my friends, family, and people that I meet. I think that's one of the biggest things and I think it extends from, when I was younger, I didn't have that. I didn't have that person to talk to. So I make sure that I'm available to help that. And I know that we're going to get into it later, but one of the reasons why, and one of the things I do for the community is helping people take pride in homeownership. And I think that that's one of the things is growing up in a small little town. I didn't expect to have much. I didn't expect to buy a house. We just get used to that messages being told to us. And I think that that's where I really have taken the change of investing into my community, giving back to my community, and being there for my community.
I love that. I love that. So, why did you become a lender?
See, I was trying not to jump ahead, but I did.
I know it would have been okay if you did. It's okay if you do, because then I'll just say, well, I'm going to repeat the question in case there's more. So, totally, I want you to feel free to elaborate.
Yeah, and I guess how I became a lender, why I became a lender. I went to college. I was dead set. I'm going to be a CPA. I want to be an accountant. And then I took economics, and I was like, no, horrible, not for me at all. And what does every little gay boy do in Arkansas? I majored in fashion design. So that was actually my major in college. I went on and worked for retail stores for the next, I don't know how many years, 7 or 8 years. And then one day I woke up and I started studying for real estate. I've always wanted to be involved in real estate and how it works, and buying houses and selling houses and the transactions. And I got my real estate license. bought my first house with my husband. And then the loan officer was like, "You don't want to be a realtor. Why do you want to be a realtor?" And I'm like, "Why not?" So I was like, "Well, I'll study and be a loan officer." And so that's what I did. I went back, studied more, got my uh, loan officer license. And I think the biggest thing one of the reasons why I chose like the real estate industry and becoming a lender is making people's dreams come true. A lot of people think that there's a lot of money in the world and people can buy houses left and right without even needing a loan, or they just drop cash. But there are those hardworking individuals that have a family that want a home of their own to raise their kids in, to raise their fur babies in, anything like that. And I think that that is one of my callings, is helping those people achieve that dream. Because I once was able to do that, and it was very impactful for me. And I think that a lot of times people don't think they can achieve things. And I think that if you set out to do it, you can achieve it, and just keep focused. It may not happen tomorrow, may not happen a year, but if you just keep going, you'll get there at some point in your life. And so that's why I became a lender.
I love that. And that jumps us into our next question. What is your advice to people who think they will never be able to buy a home?
My advice is you don't know until you try. And I think this is really hits home with me, is as a loan officer, me individually, I am there with you every step of the way. Um, and like I just said, is it may not happen tomorrow. It may happen a year or 2 years, but I'm here to help and guide you, get you on that plan. There's a lot of times that people, just need a little to just change something in their lifestyle or in their finances that can actually achieve that dream. And I think that that's the most important thing, is having a loan officer that will be there for you. Part of me says, I'm not an 800 number. There are those big banks that are out there, that you can get a loan online, but they're an 800 number. You're going to call them, they're going to transfer you around. But when you work with a loan officer, like a local loan officer like me, you have my cell phone. You text me, you call me, you email me. I'm there for you. And I think that that's one of the biggest reasons. And something that's a little more accepting nowadays, especially in California, but there's other states that are, concerning, is I'm part of the LGBT plus community. And I think that when two individuals that are married, whether it's husband, wife, a combination of whatever it may be, you want to be able to have a conversation with someone in your community that identifies with your situation. And when you call an 800 number or you walk into a big bank, they're not going to be on the same page. They're not part of the community, and they don't understand, kind of what your feelings and what you're going through, and your struggles that you've had in life. So that's another reason why I love what I do. And and that's what I said earlier, is taking pride in home ownership. You can do it. I love working with couples in this community, because I'm a part of that community, so I understand what they're going through or what they've been.
I love that. So why should someone go with a loan officer like you instead of a big bank?
Oh my God, I just said it.
But see, you did. That's okay.
Exactly. See?
Now, do you have more to expand on that?
Yeah. And the easiest way to put it is, like I said, you have my phone number. You call me, you text me. When you're going with a big bank, you're a number in their system. And I think that that's the difference, is these big banks are pushing out, tens and thousands of loan applications and loan approvals on a daily basis. But when you work with me, I have a great team that works with me, and we know your name, we know who you are, we know things about you that we're there to support you, versus you calling in and you getting transferred 1,400 times before you actually speak to a live person. Because we've all called in and we said, "Hey, representative," and it never happens. So that's the difference thing, is when you call me, I'll pick up my phone and you're not having to get transferred around. So.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to backtrack and ask you to elaborate on advice on people who think they're never able to buy a home. So let's say I come to you and I do a loan application and we find out I can't buy a home right now. What do you do at that point? How do you help us when, let's just say, we can't? What are the next steps you take?
Yeah, I think there's, being in the loan industry, not to bore anybody who's, listening in or watching this, there's a few areas that we look at, income, debt. Everyone's always worried about the credit score. Yeah, that's a part of it. And then, money that you have in the bank. And I think they all four play a part into applying for a loan. But sometimes, I don't have that money for a down payment. Let's have that conversation, because what can happen is there's down payment assistance programs that are out there that we can help you get that down payment for that house. Your credit may not be great. There may be a few tricks of the trade that, I can help you, or a credit repair company can help you to take your score from, the low 500s to the 600s. All of it kind of plays into the overall picture of what we look at when we're getting a loan. And that's what I tell people is, don't underestimate your ability to buy a house. And that's where I say it may not happen today, but one day it will. But why not get on that right path today to start taking action so that you can? I mean, that's the biggest thing. We all, personally speaking, we all get stuck in our minds because everything we've been told over and over and over, that we're not good enough, that we don't belong, all that stuff and that our community has heard, it spills over to in our daily lives. And I think the biggest thing is you can do it. Believe in yourself and do it. You just need a roadmap to get you from point A to that final point of buying that house.
I love that. And we can't get the roadmap until we come see you.
Exactly. I think people think loan officers, and even me before, becoming one, they're the scary people. They talk about finances and debt and all that stuff that we like to not really discuss. But I think that's important to, have a conversation. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't kill you about having a conversation.
No, not at all.
Let's get the right path, right?
Right, right. I love that. So, tell me about the LGBTQ Real Estate Alliance. What is it and why is it important to you?
So the LGBTQ plus Real Estate Alliance is a national organization. Basically, what has happened is they were founded. No, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Over 3 years ago, ish. A while. I see. I stumped you.
I know. I don't know that answer.
I think it's been around for at least 3 or 4 years. Basically, what it is, it's people of our community that are realtors and that are, I call them affiliates. So it's people like me who are part of the transaction. We're there to help you buy the house. We're there to help you inspect the house. Things like that. And why it's important to me goes back to what I said is, when you're buying a home and you may have had an experience in your previous or, before in your life that you weren't comfortable talking about, your sexuality or your identity or anything like that. These are the people that feel the same way. And I think that that's very important for people to understand is, we've been there with you. We know how you feel. And we're there to support each other and to help each other achieve our dreams. And I think the other thing I like is it's a network of 4,000 people across the US. And I think that that's a powerful network for us all coming together to support each other.
Absolutely.
We all have family members that, want to move out of such and such state, and that may want to move somewhere else. And this is a network that you can find those people to help you move and locate a house or locate a new city and ask questions about. And I think that it's a resource that is available at your fingertips.
Yes.
And a lot of people didn't have that back in, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and I think that it's vital now. And I recommend people, researching it. And there's a website, it's called LGBTQ plus homes, if I'm correct, that you can research realtors, lenders, all these types of different people to where you want to move to and reach out to them, and they can help you. They can help you get there.
I love that. I love that. Well, is there anything you want to finish up with or say to the community?
Oh, live, laugh, and love. That's the biggest thing. I always like to leave with that. I think that I encourage you to, um, if you've ever thought about owning a home or, you know, moving to a different state or anything like that, reach out to these people in this group. Um, I think that we're resources and we're here to help. We're part of your community, and I love helping people grow and thrive in their life. Um, I didn't have that when I was little, but when I got older, I had that, and that's part of who I am and giving back into the community. And I think that there's plenty of people out there that will, that will guide you, give you a hug, and help you get on that right track.
I love that. So thank you for tuning into Pride Pages podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. We're available in Palm Springs, Boise, and Seattle, and we are growing. So thank you so much.
Bye.